Okay, and we are live. It's been a few.
Hey,
It's been a few weeks. Luckily, it wasn't 100% me. So the first, 2 weeks ago was me. The last week was you. So, like I've always said, that I'm happy when it's. I'm happy. Weirdly, I'm happy when you cancel on me.
right? Yeah, it's always. I know that feeling. You're like not upset that something gets canceled.
Yeah,
You're like you look forward to things, but also at the same time, you're like,
yeah. It's not that
I'm
bad.
okay with
I got. Yeah.
that.
I do really like the way that we have been, we've been pretty consistent on doing this.
Yeah.
When we put this idea together, I don't know how many recordings we'd have because there was a time where I was tracking it and naming it, so I'll have to go back to the YouTube channel, but we've been very consistent on
hmm
this. We've been consistent-ish. Um,
Yeah.
and I don't know, are you getting I'm I know a lot of people are starting to engage and such. Are you seeing the same thing on your end?
Yeah. It's funny. Like you hear these stories about people, and they're like, it was about 4 years of doing something until I started to see traction, right?
Yeah.
So it's like that consistency of like, but yeah, definitely. It's uh, coming from, you know, paid direct to consumer or direct to business type uh, previous things. There's that delayed gratification, but it's always good to get that positive reinforcement.
Yeah. Okay, so I went to the reason why I had to cancel a few weeks ago, as you know, I went to Funnel Hacking Live, and for those that are watching that you don't know what that is, that's pretty much the Super Bowl when it comes to the digital space and generating leads and using funnels and such. And I got to tell you, it was it was a pretty impressive event. It was a really impressive event. In fact, I walked away with some good nuggets.
They've been honing and crafting that for quite some time. So it's I so believe it or not, I have never been to a funnel hacking live event. Um, Oddly enough, I don't know how I've made it this far and not participated, but I've always heard good things.
Yeah. Well,
So,
it's gonna be in Vegas next year.
okay, I might be able
Yeah.
to do that.
Yeah.
So you got a recap for us, or
So here are my big takeaways. That this is where the market's at right now, and if you're not doing shorts, if you're not doing video shorts,
mhm,
you're missing the game. What the big promotion was um, number one, he debuted his new process called the linchpin model, and it really
right?
comes into having the MIFGI, which is the uh, most incredible free gift ever.
Okay,
So it's like if you sign up today, you get this. It's like an Oprah show. If you sign up today, you get
okay,
this, and you get this, and you get this, and you get this. But what they were saying is they did a lot of linkage with the sessions. So they started out and each session kind of build upon each other, linking
okay.
the whole thing together. But the big thing that I took about that was lead generation. And number one, they're like, you've got to do video shorts, 60-second or less. You've got
hmm
to do it on TikTok, you got to do it on YouTube, and you've got to do it on Instagram. Those are the three main ones that they had said.
Right.
Um, and that is meant for lead generation. That is meant to build the audience. You build that up, and that takes you, those shorts, they should either redirect into a longer form video format, a long
hmm
form information, or there has to be an offer into it. But number two, he says everybody needs to create an email newsletter. You've got to have an email newsletter, and you've got to be publishing on that consistently and reliably. So as often as every single day. If you're creating valuable content for your ideal client avatar, then you can drop on them every day. You can't drop a sales message on them every single day,
hmm
but you can drop on them every single day.
Right.
So those were the two really big things that took that really honed in my head. I always say that when you go to a conference, if you come back with
Right.
one big idea and
Right.
implement it, you're going to be good to go. They gave a bunch of swag. They gave a book and everything. It was so much that I'm like, man, I'm not carrying that. I went to FedEx. It just got delivered. It got delivered. It's still in a box. I haven't
Let's
reopened it
do
yet.
this.
Yeah,
Can I choose the shipping option? That's
yeah.
awesome.
Uh, and then I also met with Jim Edwards there.
Cool.
Super, super cool guy. And he's speaking at the conference that my company is doing next
Yeah.
week. So next Friday, I got to tell you right now, Luke, I'm probably out of commission on next Friday. But I'll
Amen.
let you know as it goes because I'm flying. No, I should be fine. I'm flying back on Thursday. I'm flying back on Thursday. So working on Friday. But he is coming to my conference and he's going to teach real estate agents on how to write a book. And
Cool.
he has this course on how to write a book in 3 hours or less.
Hmm.
And I'm like, that sounds amazing. I said, what would be cool is that maybe I should be like
Case
a
study.
case study. He goes, yeah, that's great. Let's do it. I'm like, really? And
Sold.
so last Wednesday, we started the process. What we ended up doing was we took my presentation, one of my presentations that I'm doing at my conference next week,
Hmm.
and I did it for Jim and we recorded it. After I recorded it, I uploaded it into Descript to turn it
Hmm.
into transcribe it, and then I edited it. And then the next day at 7 in the morning, he interviewed me and
Okay.
did the same thing. Recorded it, uploaded it to Descript, modified it, and so what I ended up doing, and I'm going to share this with you. What I ended up doing was creating a 57-page book called "Unlocking the Modern Consumer's Journey."
I freaking love it.
How smart real estate agents are building relationships, owning their markets, and shattering their cold calling myth with the zero moment of truth.
There it
Now you've known
is.
me for a lot of years, so you have already heard all of this, but now it is actually in so there's the back cover
Chef's
on it,
kiss.
and then we have the book. Let's see where that's going to pop up right here, and so we just kind of scroll through it. Has a
I
table of contents
love
right here.
it. I
Right.
love the length of like being so consumable,
Yeah, you're going to be able to read this book in an hour.
right? It's
And
like,
you can see here what percentage of buyers begin their home search online. Is it 36%, 70%, 47%? You might be surprised to know that 47% of buyers start their home search online. And then I just kind of go through that. So I level set. But but look, I think the key thing here is one of the limiting beliefs that I had. Let me go back to our mode. One of the limiting beliefs that I had is that it takes a while to write a book. And I'm not saying
right.
it didn't take me time. It took me some time, but the way that he processed it. By the way, what you just saw. So the presentation that I'm doing is on the modern consumer journey. I'm actually doing that presentation next week live. So this is like my manuscript on it.
Right?
Um, I actually uploaded it. It's being printed right now, and I'm going to have 25 physical books delivered to the conference next week. And I'm into
Awesome.
it all in, um, all in, because I had to use Fiverr for editing and the
Hmm.
design, everything. All into it to get 25 books and to get it expedited. I'm into it about 300 bucks. If I
Dude,
didn't
that's
have to get it
awesome.
expedited, I'd be into it 25 bucks. But the books themselves, they ended up being like $3.25 a piece. So I'm paying almost as much in shipping than I am on the books because we did this so fast.
Right?
But my
But,
intent is this is now my lead magnet.
right.
This is, hey, if you want to know how to sell in the modern day, don't do the traditional cold prospecting that's going to repel clients. Do the
That's
activities
your,
that are going to attract them.
that's your Mifke.
No, the Mifke would be you give them the book and
Yeah.
then if you, sign up for my, role playing group, if you sign up today, you get this, you get this, you get this, you get this, you get
Gotcha.
this. But you
Okay.
have to sign up today. And
Right.
that's the most incredible free gift ever. But yeah, that's what I took away. I mean, that was a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff that went on since I went to Funnel Hacking Live, met with Jim, decided to write a book, um, wrote the book, got it edited, got it published. He says
I
you can get
love
it
that you
done in
crushed
three
that out.
hours. Bro, it took me, the editing takes a long time because
Right.
if I do it again, which I will, because now
Yeah.
I'm like, that was so easy. I do all of these presentations. Why wouldn't I at least turn them into a free guide, a free
Mm.
downloadable guide?
Yeah.
Put
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
cover on it, put a guide on it. But because I do that on cold calling, I do that on working a circle process. You do it too. So,
Yeah.
but um, once you do it once and you realize that you're doing a presentation that you're going to turn it into a book and you have to edit it, I think what you'll do is you'll end up, the words that you say are going, you're going to be doing your first edit, your first format of the book while you're
Right.
talking because you're being recorded and you're going to spend hours of
Yeah.
transcription.
Hmm. I like that.
I got the wheels turning for you.
You'll
You good?
yeah, yeah, right. You could see it. I'm like, okay. You'll have to document the process a little bit, and I mean that could be something in its of itself. So very cool.
He actually
I'm
has
super pumped,
a
man. I can't wait.
he actually has a sheet that he sent me. I'll send it to you of his process. So he broke down the whole process. The nice thing was is that he walked me through the whole
Right,
process. So it was a checklist, but as you know, whenever you get to a certain thing, there's always questions when you have a checklist.
right.
But he walks you through the whole process. Now, this is not the book that I started on with him. I'm working on
Hmm.
the tactical real estate agent blueprint. That's
Right.
gonna go. This is like this would actually be the precursor to that book because it talks a lot about the strategy.
Hmm.
But so I'm still working on that, and I'm using artificial intelligence, Chat GP, to help me write that book too.
Okay. I uh I love I love everything about the book that you just put together too. Like just I'm excited to see how they come together. But I mean, just being able to put that together and knock that out, that's awesome. I like how you guys the process of going back in and backfilling it with like an interview to kind of flush out and develop any additional ideas or spots in that. So super excited to see final product and
Check this
very
out.
cool.
I'll let you know. Check out what the interview looks like too. So you can see Q&A with Brett, Jim Edwards.
Okay.
Brett, why is getting so it actually has his name in there and then has me
Oh,
answering it.
cool.
So it's like it is legitimately. It takes a second to edit too because then I had to have the video playing and the audio playing because sometimes the way that we
Hmm.
speak doesn't make any sense if you're just reading it. You have to
Right.
listen to it and read it at the same time, pause it, edit it. But yeah, I was pretty stoked about it, man. It was a
That's
good time.
awesome.
It was pretty cool being able to put all that stuff together. It was a cool process. And I pushed on the wrong thing. There we go. So what's new in your world? I mean, I've been talking, shared with you what I had done. What have you been doing?
That's awesome. So something that you mentioned in the funnel hacking live, it kind of rang through to me where you're like, hammering in on the shorts and stuff, and I'm set to go out to Tampa or St. Pete area in the next week or 2 weeks to meet up with the uh, partnered up with somebody who does all the like Jordan Peterson and Alex Hermosi short form content. and we're working together. So I'm actually flying out there to do a bunch of like batch recording,
Oh,
short
that's
form
super cool.
content for the AI program that I've been pushing out and digging into. So that's been fun. Looking forward to doing that. Historically, I've just it's been very on the go, just creating everything. But it'll be cool to see a more formalized, structured process to how they do it. So like an intense, like 2 day, full day recording session. I I can't imagine having it, going doing that type of thing. I've done some similar things in the past, but not to that extent. So
So you're
we'll
just gonna batch record them. You're gonna go out there and just. Do you have a script? Do you have subjects? Do you have what do you?
Yeah, so we have so uh a part of the program that rolled out. So I'm working with like copywriters, just so they're putting together. We've done some interviews and like stories and things like you know just my personal story, journey, and all that stuff, like how we came together. So we've been working on stuff like that, mostly for like our daily newsletters and daily emails that are going out with the in conjunction with the program. So there's been a lot of like overlap and crossover there. So I the whole creative team is really handling most everything. I just get to kind of show up and record. So
Wow, that's
that
cool.
a lot of like and uh, that was a part of like one of the things that I was like, okay, I'm this seems a lot easier where they're like, we don't want you to have this like the questions and like the context or any of that stuff beforehand. Like it's much better just to let it like roll, like it's natural. You just kind of get that.
And then
um
they'll just do the editing on the back end.
th- yeah,
Because that's
exactly.
what's unique about the shorts is that they have those hard edits. They just cut
Hmm.
out what you don't want to say, and it just moves in the camera angle. So it just
Right.
it's really cool that way.
Yeah, so I thought that
How'd you
was kind of
get
a
how'd you get
go
connected with
ahead.
them? How'd you find them?
So a partner of mine, Bobby Stocks, he is working with like, one of his partners for a few other projects. He brought him on for, more of an ops role, and he's been doing this for as another business for a while. So, the partner that I brought on, Brooks Briz, he's running lead on the whole video stuff there, and he's been doing it for a long time. And he was going down his client list of everybody that he's worked with. I was like, oh shoot, you know that's a pretty impressive list there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really cool.
So.
Um, we both got a lot of stuff going on.
Right.
Yeah, my next move on this book is to turn it into a landing page. And I actually no, the next thing in the book, I just haven't had time with it, is to get this up on Amazon.
Yeah.
So you know, to get that all dialed in. And Jim has this process on how to get your book to be a number one Amazon bestseller. And
Hmm.
he's like, you only do that once. He's like, so you got to choose the book that you're going to want to do, because what you do now is that now you get to use the title, you're an Amazon
Right.
best-selling author, right? So I'm like, okay, all
All
right,
right, here
now
we go.
I can do that. So I can just add that to my resume as Amazon best-selling author.
Yeah.
It used to be New York Times was a big deal, but now I don't even think papers are
Right.
just not as you don't really hear about New York Times anymore. But
Yeah.
you always hear about Amazon.
Yeah. 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 That's I bet that's a awesome process just in and of itself. Whatever he's got dialed in for that.
Yeah, yeah. So that's I'll get that up I'll get that up probably in a week or two. I just got to get through. I'm in Atlanta all. I'm leaving tomorrow, and I'm in Atlanta all next week for that conference. So can't imagine there's going to be a
Well,
whole lot of much that I'm going to have time doing on that.
anything I can help do to promote or push that number one, man, let me know.
Um, yeah, yeah. When I get it done, I still got to.
Yeah.
I was I was one of Jim's customers before I was a client or a friend, I
Right.
should say, and he has this software that you number one when I became a client, they were called wizards because you had to put a lot of information into it. But then Chat GPT came out, and
Mm-hmm.
he ultimately tied Chat GPT into his system to create sales copy. So
Oh,
first you identify who your ideal client avatar is, and then you have all of these things on what are you trying to push? What are you trying to sell? You've
right.
already identified their pain points, and you literally push. He calls them genies. You make a wish, and the genie comes up, takes all of the information from the avatar. You're already putting in the different prompts into it, and it punches
Right.
out long form sales copy, short form sales copy, email follow ups.
Love it.
So the process is now I'm going to go back and create a landing page for it using that, and then just start driving books. I don't know if this is going to be the one that's going to be the best-selling author. This is, we always say, progress over perfection. Would rather have
Mm-hmm.
done than perfect. There are some things that I would want to do in this that I didn't do. Like I'd want to put some illustrations in there to showcase some certain things, but I just didn't have time. My focus was, look, I got to get this done. I got to get it edited. I got to get it printed.
Right.
I got to get it mailed. That was my big thing.
Well, you could always do, version 2 or version 3 of the book for your bestseller, right?
Yeah, yeah. But
Just
talking about shorts, talking about the real estate industry, talking about things that we've already talked about, how I talked about that sphere about supporting content, and then the
Mhm.
neighborhood content, and then the property content.
Yeah.
I mean, if you really think about it, you're not creating, if you're going on Instagram, if you're going on TikTok, and you're going on YouTube, uh, Reels, or is it Shorts? I get those ones mixed up. Um,
YouTube
we're not
Shorts, Instagram Reels.
you're not creating three different videos. You're using the actual same content. You're just
Yeah.
uploading those to the different platforms.
Right.
But if you go and preview 5 properties a day, if you go and preview 5 properties a day, and you're doing a video short on each one of those reviews,
Mm-hmm.
in a month you're going to have 100. In 2 months you're going to have 200. In a year you're going to have 1,200 shorts on property reviews in your local market.
Yeah, that's
I
like
mean, what's
just
that going to
dominating
do?
the market.
What is that going to do?
Right?
I mean,
Yeah.
people, real estate agents are already doing video, but what they're doing is they're doing it organic. They're not strategically using that to
Right.
drive traffic. And the one thing I
Yeah.
took from funnel hacking is right now, it's the short form video, 60 seconds or less. You need to do that to drive leads. That's where it's at right now.
Mm-hmm.
So focus on that because we don't know what that's going to be like next year or the year after or
Right.
whatnot, right?
Totally.
And then the other thing is, YouTube. You've got to make sure that one of those is on YouTube because while TikTok and Instagram are social, your video stays there for a microsecond as they scroll through it.
Mm-hmm.
YouTube, it indexes through Google. So
Right.
there's a lot of different reasons on why you're doing it that way. That's what I'm saying. So I'll probably end up doing that.
Love it.
You've been doing some shorts anyways. You've been doing some reels. I've been watching your stuff.
Yeah, I've have not been as consistent as I'd like, but time to start ramping that back up.
Yeah. Well, heck, so we're at 25 minutes in. We talked a lot. I mean, I didn't mean to take the top half of this, but there was a lot of stuff to share with
Oh
what's
no, that was
going on.
awesome.
Anything to add?
Couldn't have been more perfect. No, that was chef's kiss, man. I love
Chef's
all
kiss.
everything.
All right. Well, let's plan on doing this again next Friday. I'll be able to update you what I did in Atlanta. And I want to hear about what you're doing with your AI course. So let's talk about that next go around and see where you're at with that.
Beautiful.
All
Let's
right.
get it.
Talk to you later, brother.
Rock and roll.
Bye.